Hello and welcome to our third episode. My name is Pauline Kariuki. I am a finance and investment trainer. I'm also a corporate trainer in the area of customer experience and leadership development. I'm here with my colleague, Catherine. Catherine, may you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Pauline. My name is Kate Mwangi. I'm a career development trainer. Welcome to our episode, the Growth Exchange podcast.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. Yes, this is the Growth Exchange podcast. If you're new in this channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share, like, comment, and let people, get to experience what you're experiencing with us. So today we shall be looking at a very interesting aspect of our conversation, which is our career. And we'll be sharing our career story because, Kate, we've interacted many times and you've told me where you began your career. You are a trained teacher.
Yes, I am.
But here we are. You are a trainer. What happened? Share with us your story so that somebody else can also, learn a thing or two from your story.
Yeah, thank you. I think we have said that this podcast is about money and our career. And in one of our episodes, you told us that we have to diversify our income stream, right? Yeah, it was me trying to figure out how many income streams I can get, and I got myself into training out of maybe brokenness. Yes, I was broke. I was looking for money. And in that aspect, it became a career which I'm proud of. Yeah, so I'm a trained teacher, just like you have said. My background is in education, English and literature. And the reason I did literature is because I was so passionate about stories, all those set books that we used to do in school, and a lot of what are they called, novels. Yeah, I like a lot of reading and everything else because at the end of the books there are a lot of lessons and everything else. So I grew an interest in literature, and so I thought. And then there was this teacher who in high school used to teach us so well. Apparently she was Miss Mwangi, and my surname is Mwangi. Yeah, so out of that, a passion for literature, I felt if maybe I would not be a journalist, I would be a teacher, and I would major with literature and English. I graduated from KU with the same, like teaching. And then when I got to do my internship, that is now in a high school setup, I knew that that is not the environment I wanted to be. Like, I wanted more and more, not in a bad way, but the young professionals or the young kids that are in high school, I felt maybe they may not be my target audience where I want to grow. Yeah, they are good and they are intelligent and everything else. But now when I got into training, I felt some type of fulfillment because they are young professionals, 18 to 24 years. And then you feel the kind of discussion that you're having with these young people, it is not the same that you can have with high schoolers. Yeah, that's how I'm not a high school teacher. I am a corporate teacher. And so what I train on is employability skills. Yeah, when we talk of employability, we say that yes, people are in school, people are graduating day in, day out, and then they are looking for jobs. But the question is, are they employable? Yeah. So if maybe what you have is education, and you had talked to us about skills, yeah, there are these skills that employers are looking for. Do you have them apart from the education? So I'll come in and train you now on the employment skills to make sure that by the time you sit down with an interviewer, you absolutely get the job. So that's where now the shift came from.
Amazing. Interesting that you moved from being the classroom teacher,
Yeah,
and now you're calling yourself a corporate teacher
teacher.
and dealing with a different age set of
Yeah.
18 to 24 years. That's what
Yeah.
you mentioned.
Yeah, true.
So out of this experience, what would you advise, a young person coming from tertiary or college or the university and is looking to get into the employment space? How do they need to prepare themselves? Because I hear you mention you train on employability skills.
True.
How does that look like? What is employability skill? How would I know as a young person who has just graduated from the university that I am ready for employability?
Employability. Yeah, when I talk of employability skills, there are some of the skills that you need that are needed in the job market or in an organization that where maybe you are going to work in. Something like digital skills. Let me give an example of myself. When I say I did English and literature, there was no point in campus that I was taught how to operate a computer. But now look at me, I'm holding one. I need to know how to navigate between so many things. I need to know how to draft a professional email. That I was not taught in high school. I was not taught that in campus. When we talk of also digital skills, we talk of Google Workspace. There's a lot of things someone will tell you, drop this in my folder, this kind of folder, create folders, do all these things. And you find if maybe I was so sticked to doing just literature and English, I might not know how to do that. I might not know how even to operate, let's say, Google spreadsheet. I need to do data entry tasks. And then you are told now this is the job opportunity, but you have to be tech savvy. What you'll be doing is data entry. You have to be good with spreadsheets, maybe Excel, but you have never been trained on that. Yeah, so when I talk of employability skills, it is those skills that you need to be able to do a certain job. And we also blend with people skills, or we call them soft skills. Soft skill, we said, yeah, the digital skills will get you the job, but what will keep you in the job? You have done your job very well, but maybe the manager is shouting at you because maybe he or she is in a bad mood. What can you do? You have to be able to also to like regulate your emotions. You have to act professionally because as we can see, you talked about young people and how maybe they can know or differentiate between campus life and professional life. You tell someone to go for an interview in company X, and maybe from how they are dressed, even the soldier at the gate cannot even allow that person in the office. Yes. And if maybe they'll get in the office, everyone now is hiding your personal things. You have to hide your faults because you don't know who is this that has gotten here. Is it a thief? Yeah. And we say that first impression matters. So if maybe you are going to work somewhere, understand the culture of that organization. In terms of dress code, how do they dress? In terms of communication, how do they communicate? So, and if maybe you also understand, can you communicate? See, can you write a professional email? Yes, I am a graduate, but can I write a professional email? You know, when maybe you see someone is sending you a message, they'll say hi. And then they'll expect from your end you say hi too. And then they'll ask you, how are you? They'll also expect you to say, how are you too? And then they'll say, I am fine, me too. You see, like such a step of communication. If maybe I'm reaching out to you, it is the first time that we are interacting, I have to structure my message in a way that by the time you are getting that message, you have everything from my name, where I gotten your maybe number from, the purpose of you texting. And like by the time we call it basic communication skills, even writing professional email, you need to send someone your CV. You don't just attach and that's it. Yeah. You have to draft a professional email with a subject, with a salutation, and everything else. So employability skills is basically making you employable. As simple as that.
Amazing. So if you're out there and you have just left university or college and you're looking to join the job market, so Catherine has helped us here to understand how you need to prepare yourself beyond the papers that you have.
Yeah, true.
And there's something very interesting that you have said that the papers will get you the job,
Yeah.
but the softer skills, which are the the people skills, is what will keep you. Things like, do you have the right attitude for the job? Because we have seen in the workplace people who are very skilled, but they're not able to relate with their colleagues. And so as we prepare ourselves into this market, and if you're already there in the job market, and maybe you need to enhance your capacity and to enhance your competence with these skills so that you can even grow in your role. So we are here to support that and to be able to build your skills on that. And maybe at this point, I can also share about my career story. So here I am. I'm in the finance industry. I also train.
Yeah.
But where did I begin? Growing up, I used to go to the bank many times, maybe with my parents. And I used to admire bankers. I look at them and they look so neat and all put together.
True.
And I would imagine myself being in that space. And so I think that is where the interest came from. And many a times, even at home, we would watch business news and I would hear things to do about shares, Barclays Bank shares, but I wasn't clear what that meant. So in my mind, I knew I want to work in the banking sector because of how those bankers were looking. Sure. But again, I didn't know that you can either be a commercial, you can be in the commercial banking or be in the investment banking. So my first training was in banking and finance. But I didn't get to the bank at that particular point. I didn't get, you do a course and you don't practice in that area for some time.
Yeah.
So I found myself working for an NGO, a non-governmental organization.
Yeah.
And there again, I got a lot of interest because of the work they were doing of impacting societies. Creating change and creating social impact in the society. And I really got interested in that area. So I re-equipped myself, with a program here and there so that I could be able to fit in there. Then while I was there, an opening came for me to join my dream career, which was the investment banking. And so I got myself in the investment bank. And that's along the way is when now I got to differentiate. There's a commercial banking, that is anyone working in the banks. And there's also the investment banking. And that's the space where you deal with investments and investment solutions. And that is where I spent most of my career, many years of my 13 years and a half, I was in that field. And I developed that, great passion and interest with investments. I got a lot of exposure and a lot of experience. And along the way, I had to keep re-equipping myself through training so that I could also understand how the industry operates. It was an interesting shift. Remember where my initial interests was a banking.
Yeah, investment banking.
No, commercial banking.
Oh, commercial banking.
But here I am now. I am and in between there is also the non-governmental work of impacting communities.
Yeah.
And so when I left the investment banking and I left my corporate job, I went back to reskill myself because of that interest I had developed of communities. I went back to school and I did psychology just also to understand how people think, operate. Yeah, because I found it integrating very well with even what the experience that I had of investments. Remember we said, I think in our first episode, When you're thinking about money, also it is 80% of the behavior and 20% of your income. And so that has really helped me even as I do this work. Now, where I was at the bank, you may ask, and so you also mentioned that you're a corporate trainer. I mean, what does that look like? So again, I realized that because of the competence and the skills that I gained from my corporate job, I felt I needed to give back to support entrepreneurs and businesses and employees, just to help them understand, re-equip themselves with these soft skills. Because again, like you have clearly told us that sometimes in school you get the academics, but there are some skills that you're not equipped on. So that's why, again, I train on customer experience, because the customer is very important in business and also in leadership development. Yeah.
Well, horror story. Someone is seated somewhere wondering, who is Pauline? You've mentioned about finance. You mentioned about customer service. You've mentioned about psychology. You've mentioned about leadership. Maybe you can walk us through maybe leadership. What do you deal with? What does it entail? And such maybe.
Yes. So, well, I was at my corporate job. I got to grow through the ranks, and I got myself in leadership positions. And my first leadership position, it was like being thrown in the deep end. No one to handhold you, but there you are, you have to lead a team. And it was baptism by fire, but I made it through, because again, the employer that I had then was very intentional in training. And so I got to be trained on that. And so I felt that there are very many people who just either by merit or maybe a gap happens in your organization and you find yourself in a leadership position, but you have no skill. You've been used or been a team member, but here you are, you need to lead a team. Yeah, so that is what I normally support people to just grow in that leadership area. Whether you are a new manager, you've just got into your new or your first leadership position, or you're in mid-level management position. Yeah.
Amazing. Because I think we have something in common, because I also led when I was younger. In high school, I think I started from having like a prefect of my life in school. And the reason maybe I also usually take the leadership steps so serious is because that tendency of you have a team, you have to lead a team, and you have to be the right leader for that. Yeah, also like in high school, I was the head girl. For me, yeah, so yeah, being a head girl, and there's a lot of expectation from other students, and I don't know why prefects are the other students are usually against the other prefects. So it even give you like resilience to understand if maybe because they'll see you like an enemy. You are the one who snitches when other students are doing funny things, and then they be like, this one is always on the side of the teachers and everything else. But I think it shapes us in a way, and when you explain how leadership works, even in corporate, it's a very good thing to know.
Absolutely. And maybe there's somebody, Kate, out there who did a certain course.
Yeah.
Say like for example, they did education like you did, and they have not practiced in that area, and maybe they are practicing in a different area, or they are still trying to look for a job. How do you help that person as they grow through their career journey?
Yeah, there's a lot of unemployment that we have to acknowledge. If maybe someone is out of school, let's say someone graduated with education, an example, right now someone has to sit and analyze yourself. There's something we call strengths and weaknesses. What are you good at? What can you do even with your eyes closed? Yeah. If maybe you have an education background, there's so many other things you can do as you are waiting employment. There are some things we call transferable skills. Yeah. And right now people are earning online. There's a lot of avenue online. You can even create courses train people on some things. If maybe you are a teacher, that means you are good in communication skills. You can now start like developing courses for communication skills, and like teaching people how to 5 steps to do 1, 2, 3. Let's say it's public speaking. Go online, start webinars, and right now people even have TikTok, Instagram. They'll even go live, teach something, and people will subscribe to that. Yeah. So if maybe you're out of school and you don't have a job yet, you have to sit and think, what am I good at? What can I do? Because, like you said, you and I, we are sitting here creating content. It is not part of what we studied. Yeah. But we are capitalizing on what can you do? What are you so good at that you can do for that? And so, what I can tell young people, or even someone who is out there looking for something to do, you don't have to wait for the formal employment to locate, because it might take long, it might take a while, but it is, even there's a lot of courses people are doing online, something like digital marketing. Other people are doing social media management. Other people are doing photography. Other people are doing videography. Yeah. So you only have to train yourself. You only have to train yourself. And before you even, maybe you might not also have the money to do videography in a school. And I have a friend of mine who is like earning money, but it is self-taught. They used YouTube and any other thing, because YouTube is your number one school. Before you even pay 50 Gs or 40 Gs to go to campus or even to go to college, there is available materials online. Like this content we are creating, it will be available online. Someone can go and watch, and maybe if maybe you're talking about savings, they'll know how to save at the end of the day. Yeah. So what I'm advocating for is know what you can do. Apart from, if maybe that job will not come, you don't have to sit and wait. Learn a skill. And then remember there's a question I had asked you about product and services. People are paying for services. What can you do that I cannot do? You can take pictures. I cannot. I will pay you to do that for me. I have a social media management. Maybe I'm engaged elsewhere full time and I need my social media pages to run. Yeah. If maybe you train yourself on how to manage social media and create content, you'll be earning now from something maybe you did not even study for. It is just being proactive other than just sitting and waiting.
Yeah. Good. And we have a very good example. Our team here.
We have a
doing
team
a
that is
great
doing
job,
amazing.
who are doing a great job. And I think off camera, some of them, maybe this is not also what they trained in, but they have found a path in it.
Exactly.
And so there are a lot of opportunities out there that people can be able to engage in and make and be productive.
True.
Be productive with themselves. And you've said something very interesting, which is the YouTube University.
Yeah.
The YouTube University has a lot of information. And I think it's better now, because when I was growing up, we were not exposed to much information as it is today.
Yeah.
And so what we are telling our viewers is that be proactive. Go out and look for information that will help you create a career. You don't have to be in the traditional careers like the teachers and the nurses and those careers we grew up hearing about. It is key to have a certain training, because that is what pushes you to the next level. But you don't have to get stuck in that traditional career. There are very many other alternative careers that have come in the recent past that can help you. So even farming is still, for those people who have learned somewhere, you can utilize that and do production. You can do value addition, for certain products. You can go into manufacturing if you can. So there are many alternatives, and that's why we are saying look beyond that training you got at the university or at a certain college, so that you can grow yourself in that. And as maybe we come to a conclusion of this session, what would you advise professionals generally regarding their career you know, skilling themselves in their careers.
Yeah, one thing I can tell our professionals is don't just be the way you are, upskill, because you have to be you have to be flexible. Like you said, the world is changing. For many people, or how we grew up knowing is that you'll go to school, get employed, and do all those things. But now with even digital space, there's so much that is happening. Technology is booming. AI is coming here with us. Like you have to keep evolving. You don't have to be, yes, I went to campus, I did this and this. I cannot just say that I am enough. Yeah. I need more. If maybe because even jobs are changing, jobs are also evolving, you have to integrate whatever is available. Because there's also this question of will AI replace people? And people are so worried about AI. It will and it might not. Yeah. And if maybe you will not train yourself on the same, now you might be at risk. But now the good thing you can do is to integrate it, to learn it, to learn how to use it. So one thing I can tell people, the professionals, the graduates that are coming out of universities, keep evolving, get as much as information as you can, get as much exposure as you can. There's these networking events that usually happen, Pauline. I don't know if maybe you have ever attended some or any. There's a lot of information that they usually shared. And maybe when you listen to someone speak, you might maybe think you know so much, or the education that you have, the degree that you have is enough. And then you get exposed to something else and you're like, wow, what are they talking about? As much as maybe overgraduate you are, you might find when it comes now to workspace, you are zero. So the plea is you don't have to stay the same. Utilize all the avenues that are there. Look at some of the online courses that you can do because, like we are saying, the technology is here with us. We have to integrate it. The jobs are changing. Maybe there are some even courses were scrapped off in university, remember? But maybe back then it was something that was selling. But right now, what is there? Yeah. So get exposed as much as you can, guys. Get exposed and be present with what is happening.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. So you've had it from the employability skills trainer. Evolve with the times, be dynamic, don't get stuck in that one career. Opportunities are out there. It's a blank canvas that has been offered to you. You choose what to write on it. And until we meet in our next session, it's a goodbye for now. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Pauline.